Hello friends. Welcome back to English Pulse. I'm Ariel. Today we talk about something many of you ask me. Ariel, can I really learn English alone? Yes, you can. And today I will show you how. Chapter 1. You can learn English alone. A great many folks believe they can't learn English without a teacher or an expensive course. They think they need someone to explain every word and every grammar rule. But that's not true. You can study English alone and you can become fluent if you learn the right way. It's not about studying for many hours, it's about studying each and every day with a simple plan. If you're ready to practice, stay patient and enjoy the journey. You will see astonishing progress. Today I will share how you can study English by yourself, even if you're a complete beginner. Let me tell you a story. A young man wanted to learn English, but he lived in a little village. There were no English teachers nearby. He didn't have enough money to join an English academy. At first, he felt unhappy. He thought his dream was impossible. Each and every day, he watched other people speak English on the internet. He wished he could speak like them. He made an significant decision. He told himself, I may not have a teacher, but I have time, determination, and the internet. That day changed his life forever. He began with only 15 minutes each and every day. He listened to simple English stories. At first, he understood almost nothing. Many words were new. Many sentences sounded too quick, but he didn't stop. He listened to the same story again and again. Gradually, his ears became familiar with English sounds. Every week, he understood a bit more. After 1 month, he noticed that many words were no longer strange. They became his friends. This is the first lesson for you. Listening is the foundation of learning English. Before you speak well, you must hear English each and every day. Your brain learns by listening. Don't worry if you do not understand everything. Your brain is collecting information. Every sentence you hear assists you become powerfuler. Listen to simple English stories, conversations, podcasts, or beginner videos. Listen while you walk, while you eat, or before you sleep. Even 10 or 15 minutes each and every day can make a large difference. The young man also learned something significant. He discovered that reading assisted him understand what he heard. So each and every day he read short English stories. The stories were simple. They used simple words and short sentences. Sometimes he read the same story 5 or 6 times. Each time he noticed something new. He learned new vocabulary naturally. He learned sentence patterns without memorizing grammar rules. Reading gave him confidence because each and every day he understood a bit more. You can do exactly the same. Choose books or stories written for beginners. Don't begin with challenging novels. Simple stories are much improved because they assist you build confidence. When you read, don't stop for every unknown word. Try to understand the general meaning first. If one word appears many times, then look it up. Learning every word isn't necessary. Understanding the message is much more significant. The young man also kept a little notebook. Whenever he found a useful word or sentence, he wrote it down. He didn't write hundreds of words each and every day. He wrote only 5 or 6 useful expressions. Then he read them several times during the day. Before sleeping, he reviewed them again. After 1 week, those words became part of his vocabulary. Little daily progress became large success after many months. You should also keep an English notebook. Write useful words, common expressions, and short sentences. Don't only write single words. Write complete sentences because sentences teach you how English works naturally. For example, instead of writing the word delighted, write I am happy today. Instead of writing morning, write I wake up early every morning. These complete sentences are much easier to remember. Another significant habit: speaking out loud. Many learners stay silent because they are afraid of making mistakes. They believe they should wait until their English becomes perfect. But perfect English never comes without practice. The young man spoke each and every day, even when nobody was around. He described his room. He talked about his break. He explained what he was doing. Sometimes he spoke for only 5 minutes. Sometimes he spoke for 20 minutes. Nobody corrected him, but he became more confident each and every day. You can practice exactly like this. Look around your room and describe everything in English. Talk about today's weather. Explain your plans for tomorrow. Tell yourself what you're cooking or cleaning. Your goal isn't perfect grammar. Your goal is to make English a natural part of your daily life. Every sentence you speak trains your brain to think quicker in English. The young man also discovered the power of repetition. Each and every day he listened to the same lessons several times. He repeated the same sentences again and again. At first it felt boring, but soon he realized something astonishing. The sentences became automatic. He no longer needed to translate them into his own language. They came directly into his mind. This is exactly how children learn their first language. They hear the same words many times until they become natural. Repetition isn't boring if you understand its purpose. Every repetition makes your memory powerfuler. Every repetition improves your pronunciation. Every repetition assists your brain recognize English more quickly. Never feel embarrassed about repeating the same lesson many times. Every successful English speaker has repeated thousands of sentences during their learning journey. Another thing that assisted the young man was changing his daily environment into English. He changed the language on his phone. He followed English learning pages. He watched English videos instead of videos in his own language whenever possible. He surrounded himself with English. Little by little, English became part of his everyday life. Instead of only being a school subject, you can also create your own English environment at home. Put English labels on objects around your house. Read simple English messages every morning. Listen to English while doing simple work. Spend several minutes thinking in English before sleeping. These little habits may look simple, but together they create powerful results. Remember, learning English alone doesn't mean learning without assist. It means taking responsibility for your own progress. Today you have books, videos, dictionaries, stories and many free resources. Everything you need is already available. The most significant thing is your daily habit. Study a bit each and every day instead of studying for many hours once a week. Little daily actions always win. If you ever feel gradual, remember the young man from the village. He had no teacher, no classroom, and no expensive course. He only had determination and consistency. Step by step, day by day, he became confident in English. You can do the same. Your journey begins with today's practice, not tomorrow's promise. Chapter 2. Build a simple daily English study routine. A great many folks ask, how should I study each and every day? They have books, videos, and apps, but they don't know where to begin. Because they have no plan, they become confused. One day they watch grammar videos, the next day they memorize challenging vocabulary, then they stop studying for a week. This is one of the largest mistakes. Learning English becomes much easier when you follow a simple daily routine. Let me tell you another story. There was a young woman named Emma. She wanted to speak English fluently because she dreamed of working in another country. Every Monday she felt excited. She watched many English videos and downloaded several learning apps. But after 2 or 3 days, she became tired. She didn't know which lesson to study next. Some days she studied grammar for 2 hours. Other days she didn't think. After 6 months she realized she had learned very little. One evening Emma met an old teacher. The teacher asked only one question. Do you have a daily study routine? Emma smiled and said, no, I study whenever I feel motivated. The teacher shook his head and said, successful learners don't wait for motivation. They follow a routine. Those words changed Emma's life. The next morning, Emma created a very simple plan. She didn't study for 4 or 5 hours. She studied for only 30 minutes each and every day, but she followed the same routine every single day. Gradually, her English became powerfuler than ever before. You can follow a routine like Emma's. Begin your study session with listening. Listen to a simple English story for 10 minutes. Don't worry if you miss some words. Just listen carefully. Try to understand the main idea. Listen with full attention. Don't check your phone or think about other things. Give your full attention to the English you hear. This simple habit trains your ears each and every day. After listening, read this. Reading while remembering what you heard assists your brain connect spoken English with written English. You begin to notice spelling, grammar, and sentence structure naturally. Reading becomes much easier because you already know the story. This is one of the best ways to improve both listening and reading at the same time. Next, practice speaking. Read the story aloud. Don't read silently. Your mouth also needs practice. Many learners spend years reading English but never speak it. When they finally try to speak, they feel nervous because their mouth isn't used to making English sounds. Reading aloud solves this problem. Speak gradually and clearly. Don't rush. Focus on saying every word as correctly as you can. Emma followed this habit each and every day. At first she felt embarrassed speaking to herself. She thought it looked strange. But after several weeks, she noticed something marvelous. Speaking English became easier. Her pronunciation improved. She no longer stopped after every sentence. She felt more confident each and every day. After speaking, spend several minutes writing. Writing assists you remember everything you learned. Write 5 or 6 simple sentences about your day. For example, you can write, "Today I woke up early. I ate breakfast with my family. Then I studied English for 30 minutes. These simple sentences teach your brain how to organize English naturally. Don't worry if you make mistakes. Mistakes aren't your enemy, they are your teacher. Every mistake shows you something new. Every correction makes you powerful. A great many folks stop writing because they are afraid of making errors. But remember, nobody learns to write perfectly on the first day. Emma also learned one more significant habit. Every Sunday, she reviewed everything she studied during the week. She didn't study new lessons on that day. Instead, she listened again to old stories. She read her notebook. She reviewed her vocabulary. She read her old writing. She was surprised because many words she thought she had forgotten and worry came back easily. Reviewing assisted move the information into her long-term memory. You should also review regularly. Learning new things is exciting, but reviewing old lessons is just as significant. Imagine filling a bucket with water that has little holes. If you never review, much of your learning gradually disappears. Review closes those holes. It assists your memory stay powerful. Another significant part of your routine is learning vocabulary correctly. Many students make long lists of words. They memorize 50 or 100 words in one day. A week later, they forget almost all of them. Instead, learn only several useful words each day. Use those words in speaking and writing. Repeat them. Repeat them several times. The goal isn't to know many words for one day. The goal is to remember useful words forever. Emma learned only 5 new words each and every day. She used each word in 3 different sentences. She spoke those sentences aloud. Then she wrote them in her notebook. After 1 month, she remembered almost every word because she used them many times. Don't forget to enjoy your study time. If studying feels like punishment, you will eventually stop. Choose stories that interest you. Watch videos about topics you enjoy. Listen to conversations that make you smile. Learning becomes much easier when you're having fun. Another assistful habit: studying at the same time each and every day. Loves routines. If you study every morning after breakfast or every evening before dinner, your brain begins to expect English at that time. Soon studying becomes a habit instead of a challenging decision. Emma always studied at 7 o'clock in the evening. After several weeks, she no longer needed motivation. When 7 o'clock arrived, she automatically opened her notebook and began studying. English became part of her daily life, just like brushing her teeth or eating dinner. Sometimes you may feel tired. Sometimes you may feel busy. On those days, don't skip your study completely. Even if you have only 10 minutes, do something. Listen to one short story. Read 1 page. Learn 1 new sentence. Little daily practice is much more powerful than long study sessions once a week. Remember that learning English is like building a house. You place 1 brick today. Tomorrow you place another brick. At first it doesn't look like much, but after many weeks and months, you have built something powerful and lovely. Every listening session, every page you read, every sentence you write, and every word you speak is another brick in your English house. The most successful English learners aren't always the smartest people. They are the people who keep showing up each and every day. They keep practicing when progress feels gradual. They trust the process. One day they suddenly realize they understand movies improved. They can read books more easily. They can speak with confidence. That success didn't happen in one day. It happened because of hundreds of little study sessions added up over time. So if you truly want to study English alone, don't search for a perfect method. Build a simple routine and follow it each and every day. Stay patient. Stay consistent. Believe in yourself. Each and every day you practice, you're becoming an improved English speaker. Even if you can't see the progress immediately, keep going because every little step is bringing you closer to your dream. Chapter 3. Learn to think in English. Instead of translating, we will learn one of the most powerful secrets for becoming fluent in English. This secret has assisted thousands of learners around the world. The secret is this: Stop translating every sentence in your head and begin thinking in English. English learners have the same problem. When they hear an English sentence, they first translate it into their own language. Then they understand it. When they want to speak, they first create the sentence in their own language. After that, they try to translate it into English. This takes time. It makes speaking gradual and stressful. Sometimes they forget the right words because they are trying to translate everything. Let me tell you a story. Now there was a young man named Daniel. He studied English for almost 4 years. He knew many grammar rules. He had learned thousands of vocabulary words. He could answer grammar exercises very well. But whenever someone asked him a simple question in English, he became nervous. He stayed silent for several seconds before answering. Why? Because he was translating every single word inside his mind. One day, Daniel met an English speaker at a coffee shop. The man smiled and asked, "How are you today?" Daniel knew the answer. It was a very simple question, but his brain became busy. First, he translated the question into his own language. Then he thought about the answer in his own language. He thought the answer wish in his own language. Finally, he tried to change the answer into English. By the time he was ready to speak, the conversation had already moved on. Daniel felt disappointed. He wondered why speaking English was still challenging after studying for so many years. Several days later he watched a video about learning languages. The speaker said something very simple. Stop translating, begin thinking in English even if your English is very simple. Daniel decided to try this new method. The first day wasn't simple. When he woke up in the morning, he looked at his bed and quietly said, "I am awake." Then he walked to the kitchen and said, "I am making brie quick." While drinking tea, he said, "The tea is hot." When he opened the window, he said, "The weather is nice today." These were very simple sentences, but something marvelous began happening. Daniel was no longer translating. He was connecting English directly with real life. His brain gradually began to understand English without using another language. You can practice this too. You don't need challenging vocabulary. Use the words you already know. Look around your room and describe what you see. Say, "This is my chair. My phone is on the table. The window is open. I am reading a book." These simple thoughts train your brain to use English naturally. At first, your sentences may be very short. That's perfectly fine. Children also begin with simple sentences. They don't begin by speaking long, challenging paragraphs. They learn one sentence at a time. You should do the same. Daniel continued this practice each and every day. Whenever he walked outside, he described everything around him in English. He looked at the sky and thought, "The sky is blue." He saw children playing and thought, "They look delighted." He noticed a bus arriving and thought, "The bus is coming." Gradually, English became part of his daily thinking. One day he noticed something surprising. He was reading a simple English story and suddenly he understood several sentences without translating them. He smiled because this had never happened before. His brain was beginning to think directly in English. This is exactly what happens when you practice each and every day. At first, your brain wants to translate because that feels safe. But with repetition, your brain builds a new habit. English becomes more natural. You begin to recognize common phrases immediately. Another assistful exercise is talking to yourself. Some people think this sounds strange, but it's one of the best ways to improve your English. You can talk while cooking, cleaning, walking, or driving. Describe what you're doing. Explain your plans for the day. Talk about what happened yesterday. Imagine answering questions during a conversation. For example, you can ask yourself, "What will I do today?" Then answer, "Today I will study English. I will read a story. I will practice speaking. Then I will watch an English video." This simple exercise teaches your brain to produce English naturally. Daniel also began using pictures. He looked at a picture of a family eating dinner. Instead of translating words, he described the picture directly in English. The family is delighted they are eating together. The children are smiling. The food looks delicious. This activity improved both his vocabulary and his speaking confidence. You can use pictures from books, magazines, or the internet. Every picture is an opportunity to practice thinking in English. You don't need perfect grammar. The significant thing is to keep your mind working in English. Another excellent habit's asking yourself simple questions throughout the day. Ask, "What am I doing? Where am I going? What do I need? What do I see? Then answer in English. These short conversations with yourself make English feel natural. Sometimes you may not know the right word, that's completely normal. Don't stop thinking. Use easier words that you already know. For example, if you don't know the word refrigerator, you can think the food is in the cold box. Learn the correct word. The significant thing is to keep thinking in English instead of switching back to your own language. Daniel learned another valuable lesson. He realized that fluency isn't about knowing every word, it's about using the words you already know with confidence. Many learners wait until they have a large vocabulary before speaking, but confidence grows through practice, not through waiting. Every evening, Daniel spent 5 minutes remembering his day in English. He thought about everything he had done from morning until night. I woke up at 7 o'clock. I made breakfast. I went to work. I met my friend. I studied English before bed. This daily review became one of his favorite habits because it assisted him think more naturally. You should also practice before going to sleep. Close your eyes and remember your day in English. Don't worry about mistakes. Just keep your thoughts moving each and every day. This exercise becomes easier. Remember, learning to think in English doesn't happen overnight. It's like learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you move gradually. Sometimes you lose your balance. But if you keep practicing, one day you ride without thinking about it. The same thing happens with English. One day you will suddenly realize that you're understanding, speaking and thinking in English much more naturally. Don't become discouraged if progress feels gradual. Every sentence you think in English is training your brain. Every simple thought is building a new habit. Over time, those little habits become automatic. Always remember this significant truth. Fluency doesn't begin with challenging grammar or advanced vocabulary. Fluency begins the moment you stop depending on translation and begin trusting yourself to think in simple English. Every little thought you create today is preparing you for larger conversations tomorrow. So, beginning today, challenge yourself to think in English as often as possible. Describe your surroundings. Talk to yourself. Ask yourself simple questions. Answer them in English. Stay patient. Keep practicing, and little by little, English will become your second way of thinking. Chapter 4. Turn your home into an English classroom. You don't need to study in a large school or attend an expensive English academy. You can turn your own home into the best English classroom. Everything around you can assist you learn English if you know how to use. Let me tell you another story. There was a young woman named Sophia. She lived in a little apartment with her parents. She dreamed of speaking English fluently, but she thought her home wasn't a great place to study. She believed she needed a classroom with teachers, whiteboards, and other students each and every day. She waited for the perfect opportunity to begin. Weeks passed, then months passed, but nothing changed. One afternoon, Sophia watched a short interview with a man who spoke 5 different languages. Someone asked him, "Where did you learn all these languages?" He smiled and answered, "Most of my learning happened at home." Sophia was surprised. She realized she had been waiting for something she already had. The very next day, she began changing her home. Little by little, she wrote the English names of everyday objects on little pieces of paper. She put one label on the refrigerator, another on the mirror, another on the table, another on the chair. Soon, almost every room had English words everywhere. Every morning she saw those words again and again. She didn't try to memorize them. She simply looked at them while living her normal life. After several weeks, she no longer needed the labels because the words had become part of her memory. You can do exactly the same. Take little pieces of paper and write simple English words. Put them on things you use each and every day. Write door, window, bed, phone, computer, cup, mirror, and clock. Every time you see these objects, say the word aloud. This simple activity teaches your brain naturally, without making studying feel challenging. Sophia also changed the language on her phone to English. At first, she was nervous because many words looked unfamiliar. She needed extra time to find different settings. Sometimes she pressed the wrong button, but after 1 week, she began recognizing many common words. After 1 month, she could use her phone comfortably in English. You can also change the language in your phone, tablet, or computer. At first, it may feel uncomfortable, but that feeling is actually assisting you learn. Every time you unlock your phone, read a notification, or open an app, You're practicing English without even realizing it. Another thing Sophia did was create an English corner in her room. She placed her English notebook, one beginner storybook, a dictionary, and a bottle of water on a little table. Every evening, she sat there for 30 minutes. That little corner became her learning space. Whenever she sat in that chair, her brain understood that it was time to study English. This is a marvelous habit because our brains love routines. If you always study in the same place, your mind becomes ready to learn much quicker. You don't need a large room, a little table, or even one quiet corner is enough. What matters is consistency, not size. Sophia also began listening to English while doing simple housework. When she cleaned her room, she listened to beginner English stories. While washing dishes, she listened to simple conversations. While folding clothes, she listened to English podcasts made for learners. She realized she could study without changing her daily schedule. You can use this idea too. Many daily activities don't require your full attention. During those moments, fill your ears with English. Even if you can't understand every word, your brain is becoming familiar with the rhythm, pronunciation, and natural flow of the language. Another powerful habit: speaking during your daily activities. When Sophia cooked dinner, she talked to herself in English. She said, "I am cutting vegetables now. I am washing the rice. The water is hot. The food smells great." These were simple sentences, but they gave her speaking practice every single day. You can also describe everything you're doing. If you're making tea, explain every step in English. If you're cleaning your room, describe each action. If you're getting dressed, name the clothes you are wearing. This turns ordinary moments into valuable English lessons. Sophia also kept a little notebook in her pocket. Whenever she forgot an English word, she wrote it down. Later, she looked up its meaning and practiced using it in several sentences. She didn't become frustrated because she forgot words. Instead, she became curious. Every forgotten word became a new learning opportunity. You should never feel embarrassed when you don't know a word. Every fluent English speaker once had a little vocabulary. Learning happens one word at a time. Stay curious and enjoy discovering new expressions each and every day. Marvelous. Another marvelous idea Sophia tried was reading simple English signs whenever she went outside. At the supermarket, she read product labels. At the bus station, she read information boards. At restaurants, she read menus in English whenever possible. She realized English was all around her if she paid attention. You can do the same wherever you go. Read signs, advertisements, menus, and instructions. Even reading 1 or 2 new sentences each day assists improve your vocabulary and reading speed. Reading speed. So made one significant rule. Every evening before going to bed, she spent 10 minutes reviewing her day in English. She asked herself simple questions. What did I do today? What did I learn? What will I do tomorrow? Then she answered those questions aloud. At first her answers were short, but after several months they became longer and more detailed. This habit improved both her speaking and her thinking. It also assisted her remember new vocabulary because she used it in real situations instead of memorizing long word lists. Sometimes Sophia felt tired after a long day. She wanted to skip her English practice. But instead of stopping completely, she followed a simple rule. She promised herself to do at least 5 minutes of English each and every day. Some days those 5 minutes became 30 minutes. Other days they stayed at 5. But she never broke her habit. This is a truly essential lesson. Never let one busy day become one busy week. Even several minutes of practice keep your learning alive. Consistency is always more powerful than perfection. Gradually, Sophia noticed astonishing changes. English no longer felt like a school subject. It became part of her daily life. She didn't wait for study time because she was learning all day long. Every object in her home reminded her of English. Every daily activity became an opportunity to practice. Without realizing it, she was creating an English-speaking environment around herself. You can create the same environment in your own home beginning today. You don't need expensive books. You don't need a large classroom. Use your walls, your notebook, your phone, your daily routines, and your imagination. Every room can become part of your English journey. Always remember that successful learners don't wait for perfect conditions. They make the best use of what they already have. Your home is full of opportunities to learn English. The more you surround yourself with the language, the more natural it becomes. So beginning today, look around your home with new eyes. Every chair, every table, every book, every mirror, every conversation and every daily activity can assist you become an improved English speaker. Little by little, your home will become your greatest English teacher, and every single day, you will move one step closer to fluency. Chapter 5. How to stay motivated when learning English alone. A great many folks begin learning English with excitement. They study each and every day for 1 or 2 weeks. They watch videos, read stories and practice speaking. But after some time they become tired. They stop studying. Days become weeks and weeks become months. Then they say, I think English is too challenging for me. The truth is English isn't the problem. The real problem is losing motivation. Today I will show you how to stay motivated even when learning feels gradual. Let me tell you another story. There was a young man named Michael. He wanted to learn English because he dreamed of traveling around the world. On the first day, he was full of energy. He studied for 3 hours. On the second day, he studied for 2 hours. By the end of the week, he was tired. Soon, he stopped studying completely. A month later, he realized he had forgotten almost everything he had learned. Michael became disappointed. He thought maybe he wasn't smart enough to learn English. One evening, he visited his grandfather and shared his feelings. His grandfather smiled and asked him one simple question. If you plant a tree today, will it become tall tomorrow? Michael laughed and said, of course not. His grandfather smiled again. Then why do you expect your English to grow in 1 week? Those words stayed in Michael's heart. He finally understood that learning English is like growing a tree. You must water it each and every day. You must give it time. You can't see the growth every morning, but the tree is growing little by little. The next day, Michael changed his plan. Instead of studying for 3 hours, he decided to study for only 30 minutes each and every day. He promised himself that he would never skip a day. It didn't matter if he felt delighted or tired. It didn't matter if the weather was sunny or rainy. He would study every single day. This is one of the largest secrets of successful learners. They don't depend on motivation. They depend on habits. Motivation comes and goes. Some mornings you feel excited. Other mornings you feel lazy. That's normal. Every person experiences this. But habits stay with you. When English becomes part of your daily routine, you study even when you don't feel like it. Think about brushing your teeth. You probably don't feel excited every morning, but you still do it because it's your habit. Learning English should become the same kind of habit. Michael also stopped comparing himself to other learners before he spent hours watching videos of people speaking perfect English. Instead of feeling inspired, he felt discouraged. He thought they are much improved than me. Then he realized something significant. Those people were beginners once too. They also made mistakes. They also forgot words. They also felt nervous. The difference was that they never stopped practicing. Remember this: every time you compare yourself with someone else, you're not competing with other learners, you're only competing with the person you were yesterday. If today you know one more word than yesterday, if today you understand one more sentence than last week, you're improving. If today you speak with a bit more confidence than last month, you're improving. Little progress is still progress. Michael began keeping a simple progress journal. Every evening he wrote 3 things. Today I learned 5 new words. Today I listened to 1 English story. Today I spoke English for 10 minutes. These weren't large achievements, but they reminded him that he was moving forward each and every day. You can do the same. Buy a little notebook or use your phone. At the end of each and every day, write down what you practiced. After 1 month, read your notes again. You will be surprised by how much you have accomplished. Another thing that assisted Michael was celebrating little victories. When he completed his first English storybook, he celebrated. When he learned 100 new words, he celebrated. When he understood his first English video without subtitles, he celebrated again. These celebrations didn't have to be expensive. Sometimes he treated himself to his favorite meal. Sometimes he watched his favorite movie. Sometimes he simply smiled and said, "Great job." Celebrating your progress keeps your mind positive. It reminds you that every little success matters. There were also days when Michael felt frustrated. Some grammar lessons seemed confusing. Some listening exercises felt impossible. On those days, he wanted to quit. Instead of giving up, he took a short break. He went for a walk. He listened to relaxing music. He drank a cup of tea. Then he returned to his English practice with fresh energy. No, taking a short break isn't quitting. Sometimes your brain simply needs time to rest. After resting, learning becomes much easier. Michael also learned not to expect perfection. One day he forgot several words during a conversation. Instead of feeling embarrassed, he laughed and continued speaking. He realized something truly essential. Communication is more significant than perfection. Even native speakers sometimes forget words. Everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. Every mistake teaches you something new. Never let fear stop you from speaking. Another habit that kept Michael motivated was imagining his future. Every morning he closed his eyes for 1 minute. He imagined himself speaking English confidently. He imagined traveling to another country. He imagined making international friends. He imagined watching English movies without subtitles. These dreams reminded him why he had begun learning English. You should also remember your reason. Why do you want to learn English? Maybe you want to improve job. Maybe you want to study abroad. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you simply enjoy learning languages. Whatever your reason is, remember it each and every day. Your reason will give you strength when motivation becomes weak. Michael also found inspiration by reading stories about successful English learners. He realized that many fluent speakers had challenging beginnings. Some lived in little villages. Some had no teachers. Some could only study after work. Some learned using free resources. Yet they all became successful because they refused to give up. Whenever you feel discouraged, remember that every fluent English speaker once struggled exactly as you do today. They continued. You can continue too. Learning English isn't a race. Some people learn quickly. Others learn more gradually. That's completely normal. The significant thing isn't your speed. The significant thing is that you never stop walking. Imagine climbing a mountain. If you stop after every few steps, reaching the top becomes very challenging. But if you continue walking even gradually, you will eventually reach the summit. English learning works the same way. Every page you read, every story you hear, every sentence you speak, and every word you learn is another step toward your goal. One day you will look back and realize how far you have come. Sicking. The words that once seemed impossible will become simple. The conversations that once frightened you will become enjoyable. The books that once looked challenging will become interesting. All because you chose to continue instead of quitting. So whenever you feel tired, remember Michael and his grandfather's lesson. A tree doesn't grow overnight. It grows little by little, day after day. Your English is growing the same way. You may not notice the change today. You may not notice it tomorrow. But if you continue watering your English with daily practice, patience, and belief in yourself, one day you will speak with confidence and realize that every little effort was worth it. Never stop believing in yourself. Never stop learning, and most significantly, never give up, because each and every day you continue is another day closer to becoming the English speaker you have always wanted to be. Chapter 6. Practice speaking each and every day without a partner. We're going to learn how to practice speaking each and every day. Even if you have no teacher, no classmates, and no English speaking friends. Many learners believe they can't improve their speaking because they have nobody to talk to. They say, I live in a place where nobody speaks English. Others say, I'm unique. Others say, I am too shy to speak with strangers. Some people think they must wait until they find a speaking partner. But the truth is very different. You can improve your speaking every single day, even when you're completely alone. There was a young woman named Olivia. She lived in a little town where almost everyone spoke the same language. She dreamed of speaking English fluently, but she had nobody to practice with. Each and every day she watched English videos and read English books. But whenever she tried to speak, she became nervous. The bird Sinead. She believed she would never become fluent because she had no conversation partner. One evening she watched an interview with a successful language learner. The interviewer asked, who assisted you practice English each and every day? The man smiled and answered, my first speaking partner was myself. Olivia laughed because she thought it was a joke. But the man continued, I spoke to myself each and every day. I described everything I did. I asked myself questions. I answered them in English. Gradually my confidence grew. Those words gave Olivia a completely new idea. The next morning she stood in front of her mirror and smiled. She said, "Great morning. My name is Olivia. Today I feel delighted. Today I will study English." At first she felt a bit embarrassed. It seemed strange to speak to herself. But after several days, it became natural. This is called mirror practice, and it's one of the best ways to improve your English speaking. Stand in front of a mirror for 5 or 10 minutes each and every day. Look at yourself. Smile. Speak gradually and clearly. Introduce yourself. Talk about your family. Talk about your job. Talk about your hobbies. Describe your plans for tomorrow. The mirror never laughs. The mirror never judges you. The mirror gives you the confidence to practice freely. After 1 month, Olivia noticed that speaking became easier. She no longer stopped after she began speaking more naturally because her mouth had become used to English sounds. Full exercise it wherever you're. Look around and describe what you see. You can say, "There's a table in front of me. My phone is on the desk. The weather is cloudy. I can hear birds outside. My room is clean today." These simple sentences may seem too simple, but they build real speaking confidence. Remember, fluency grows from simple sentences repeated many times. Olivia also began telling stories to herself. Every evening, she remembered her day and explained it in English. She said, "I woke up at 7. I ate breakfast with my family. I went to work. I came home. I studied English." Then she added more details every week. 1 month later, she could speak for 5 minutes without stopping. 3 months later, she could speak for 10 minutes. She realized something astonishing. She was becoming her own English teacher. You can do this every night before going to bed. Tell yourself everything that happened during the day. Don't worry if you repeat words. Don't worry if your grammar isn't perfect. Keep talking. Every sentence is making you powerfuler. Another excellent exercise is asking yourself questions. Pretend you're in an interview. Ask, "What is your name? Where do you live? What do you enjoy doing? Why are you learning English?" Then answer every question in complete sentences. As you improve, ask more challenging questions. What are your future goals? What makes you delighted? What did you learn today? This activity prepares you for real conversations because many everyday conversations begin with simple questions. Olivia also began recording her voice. The first time she listened to herself, she felt uncomfortable. She thought her pronunciation sounded strange. She wanted to stop, but instead she continued recording herself every week. Gradually, she noticed improvements. Her pronunciation became clearer. Her speaking became smoother. She spoke with fewer pauses. Recording yourself is like looking into a mirror for your voice. It assists you hear mistakes that you can't notice while speaking. You don't need expensive equipment. Your phone is enough. Record yourself reading a short story. Then record yourself talking freely for 2 or 3 minutes. Notice what sounds great. Notice what you can improve. Every recording becomes a lesson. Another habit Olivia developed was shadowing. Shadowing is one of the most powerful speaking techniques. Choose a short English video or audio lesson. Listen to one sentence. Pause it. Repeat exactly what you hear. Try to copy the speaker's pronunciation, rhythm, and speed. Repeat the sentence several times. Then move to the next sentence. This exercise trains your ears and your mouth at the same time. Many successful English learners use shadowing each and every day. At first, it feels challenging. The speaker seems too quick, but after repeating the same lesson several times, you become faster too. Remember, speaking isn't only about knowing vocabulary, it's also about training your mouth to produce English sounds naturally. Olivia practiced shadowing for only 15 minutes each and every day. After several months, people noticed that her pronunciation had improved greatly. She sounded more natural because she had copied thousands of correct English sentences. Another significant lesson Olivia learned was to stop fearing mistakes. One day she accidentally said a wrong word while speaking to herself. She laughed. Then she corrected herself and continued. That little moment taught her something valuable. Mistakes don't stop learning. Stopping practice stops learning. Every fluent speaker has made thousands of mistakes. The difference is they kept speaking anyway. Don't wait until your English becomes perfect before speaking. Speak with the English you know today. Tomorrow you will know more. Next month you will know even more. Confidence grows through speaking, not through waiting. Another excellent habit's pretending you're teaching someone else. Choose. For example, explain how to make tea or explain your daily routine or explain your favorite hobby. Teach the topic aloud as if another person were listening carefully. Teaching forces your brain to organize ideas clearly. It also shows you which vocabulary you already know and which words you still need to learn. Olivia loved this exercise. Sometimes she imagined she was teaching millions of English learners around the world. It made her speaking practice exciting and enjoyable. Months passed. One day, an English-speaking tourist visited Olivia's town. The tourist asked for directions. Without thinking too much, Olivia answered confidently. She understood the question. She gave simple directions. The conversation lasted only 2 minutes, but for Olivia, it felt like a huge victory. She smiled all the way home. She realized that speaking alone each and every day had prepared her for a real conversation. That's exactly what daily practice does. Every sentence you speak today prepares you for tomorrow's opportunities. One day you may meet an English-speaking traveler. You may have a job interview. You may travel abroad. You may make a new friend. When that moment comes, you will be ready because you practiced consistently. Always remember this significant truth. You don't need perfect conditions to become a confident English speaker. You don't need a classroom each and every day. You don't need a partner each and every day. Every day, the most significant conversation begins with yourself. Speak each and every day. Read aloud each and every day. Record your voice each and every day. Practice shadowing each and every day. Tell yourself stories each and every day. Ask yourself questions each and every day. Little by little, your confidence will grow. Your pronunciation will improve. Your vocabulary will become active. Most significantly, English will begin to feel natural. Never underestimate the power of spanking alone. The conversations you have with yourself today are building the confidence you will use with the world tomorrow. Chapter 7. Your English journey begins today, not someday. We have learned that you don't need an expensive course, a private teacher, or a perfect classroom to become fluent. You only need one thing that nobody can give you except yourself. That one thing is the decision to keep going every single day. Let me tell you one last story. There was a young man named Ethan. For many years, he wanted to speak English fluently. Every new year, he made the same promise. This year I will learn English. But after several weeks he stopped. The next year he made the same promise again. Once again he stopped. Years passed and nothing changed. One evening Ethan found an old notebook. Inside it he had written the words, "I will begin tomorrow." He smiled unhappily because those words had followed him for years. Tomorrow never came. That night he made a different promise. He didn't promise to become fluent in 6 months. He didn't promise to study 5 hours each and every day. He made one simple promise. I will practice English today. The next day he made the same promise again. Then again, one day became 1 week. 1 week became 1 month. 1 month became 1 year. At the end of that year, Ethan realized something incredible. He could understand English stories. He could watch English videos without depending on. He could speak confidently with people from different countries. He had not become fluent because of one large decision. He became fluent because of hundreds of little decisions made every single day. But the behind this is the secret that a great many folks never discover. Success is built one day at a time. Not one giant step. Thousands of little steps. Perhaps today you still feel nervous when speaking English. Perhaps you still forget words. Perhaps grammar still feels confusing. That's perfectly normal. Every successful English speaker once felt exactly the same. They were beginners. They made mistakes. They felt embarrassed. They forgot vocabulary. They spoke gradually. The difference wasn't talent. The difference was persistence. They kept going. You can keep going too. Never believe the voice inside your mind that says you're too old to learn. Never believe the voice that says your pronunciation isn't great enough. Never believe the voice that says everyone else is smarter than you. Those thoughts aren't the truth, they are only fears. Your future won't be decided by your fears. It will be decided by your daily actions. Every page you read makes you powerfuler. Every story you listen to improves your ears. Every sentence you speak trains your mouth. Every mistake teaches you something valuable. Each and every day you practice is another investment in your future. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. Imagine opening an English book and understanding it. Imagine watching your favorite movie without subtitles. Imagine talking confidently with someone from another country. Imagine traveling and speaking English without fear. Imagine getting an improved job because of your English skills. These dreams aren't impossible, they are waiting for someone who refuses to give up. That someone can be you. Remember everything we learned together. Listen to English each and every day. Read simple stories each and every day. Think in English whenever possible. Write several sentences each and every day. Speak even if you make mistakes. Practice shadowing. Review your lessons. Stay patient. Stay curious. Most significantly, enjoy the journey. Learning English isn't only about speaking another language, it's about opening new doors, it's about meeting new people, it's about discovering new ideas, it's about giving yourself more opportunities in life. Every new word you learn is another key. Every new sentence opens another door. Never underestimate how powerful your daily practice can become. There will be challenging days. Some days you will feel tired. Some days you will feel busy. Some days you may think you're not improving. On those days, remember this: the powerfulest trees continue growing even during storms. The river reaches the ocean because it never stops flowing. The sun rises every morning without asking whether yesterday was successful. Nature teaches us an significant lesson. Keep moving forward even gradually, even with mistakes, even when progress feels invisible. Keep moving. One day you will look back and smile. You will remember the days when even simple English sentences felt challenging. You will remember the fear you once had. Then you will realize how far you have come. That day will arrive because you chose not to quit. Today isn't the end of your English journey. Today is only the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Every lesson you study from now on will make you powerfuler. Every conversation will confidence will build your every mistake will make you wiser. Every success, no matter how little, deserves to be celebrated. Believe in yourself. Trust the process. Stay patient. Practice each and every day. And never forget that fluency isn't a destination reached overnight, it's the reward for showing up every single day. Before we complete, I have one little request for you. If this story encouraged you, inspired you, or gave you hope, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who is also learning English. You might assist them believe in themselves again. And if you enjoyed learning with me from the beginning to the end, please support this channel, like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss Smarts, our next English lesson. Every week we create simple English stories and practical speaking lessons to assist you become more confident one step at a time. Now I would love to hear from you. What is your largest dream with English? Write your answer in the comments below. Even if your English is simple, don't be afraid. Every comment is another chance to practice. I read your comments and I love seeing your progress. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me. Thank you for believing in yourself. Thank you for completing this entire journey from chapter 1 to chapter 7 until our next lesson. Keep listening, keep reading, keep speaking, keep smiling, and most significantly, never stop learning English. See you in the next.